Hello and welcome to another Fresh Off the Stalls. Today I'm here to talk about Little LineUp, which is why I have a little person with me here who's going to help me with the review. Yeah. One of these days I'm just going to do a straightforward Fresh Off the Stalls and everyone will be so much more happier for it. So, don't know what I'm doing with this. I don't know why I even have one of these. So, yeah. So, Little LineUp. So, Little LineUp is a version of Vertical Line's LineUp, but as the name suggests, it's actually for littler people. So they've actually teamed up with Moon Mission Theatre. They have, and they've actually done this evening, or afternoon as it were, of theatre exploring new writing for children. I think it's going to have to go away, you know, because I find doing these videos difficult enough as is. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Right, bye, say goodbye, Mr. Monkey. Yeah, he likes that. Bye, bye. Yeah, so... oh dear. And I haven't even had any alcohol yet. So yes, Little LineUp. So, I seem to be getting into children's theatre at the moment, ever since Knickerbobbinus and Lion Boy. The reason I came along to this is because I've done a lot of stuff supporting things that Henry Reagan, the artistic director of Vertical Line Theatre, has got involved with ever since I ended up through networking and people and my dinner being almost ready. Networking and people, supporting a lot of stuff he's done from 5 Stages of Waiting right the way through to Fear and a Handful of Dust. So he's invited me along to this and I thought, why not? Let's see what children's theatre is all about. It's a bit difficult because, of course, the age range to things that are written here are aimed at is about at least 20 years younger than what I am, a full 2 decades. So I'm just going to give my thoughts. I've tried as best as I can to sort of, gauge a general atmosphere and reactions of the children in the audience as well. But yeah, so I'm just going to go through the list this time, just to say a bit about each piece. First of all, there was The Girl with the Imagination by Martin Dempsey. Sorry, just trying yeah, you can probably tell that I'm going to be a little critical of this one. I kind of liked it. It started off very bubbly. It's all very surreal all over the place, like an imagination is. Kind of deals with mental health and isolation. This poor princess is all by herself, has to make up all these imaginary friends, and these imaginary friends have these sort of quite dreary and some slightly tragic backstories. It's really interesting. I just think that it got too unwieldy at points. There's things happening left, right, and centre. It kind of kept losing focus, and as an adult, I was just kind of, where's this going? It didn't have a clear direction. However, in saying that, I really love some of the characters that Martin Dempsey has written. I can't even remember the name of the guy with the plant. He was excellent. I really like Saranovsky as a character as well, kind of playing with, and really interesting themes. I just think a little unwieldy. The children seemed to enjoy it though, because it was silly. It was as silly as it needed to be to engage the children. But I just think it needed to go somewhere a bit quicker and with a bit more focus. So not bad, but just not what I would say was. It didn't really catch me. That's what I'm trying to say, really. But something that can certainly develop. And I said, there's the characters are the strongest elements of this piece. Mirror Me, which, I think we peaked early with Mirror Me as far as the evening went, because this was by far my favourite out of the entire show. It's by Catriona Kerridge and Louise Gooding. It's about a girl who wonders what it's like to swap places with the girl she sees in the mirror, who is opposite to her in very many ways. Of course, it's a mirror girl. I love this. Very childlike. The writing particularly, a lot of prose in it. There's a lot of rhyming couplets, some music as well. Use of puppetry, hence why I brought the monkey out. There was a link there, I promise you. Just thought it was a good idea at the time. Really good. I suppose it kind of, you just don't expect it to go into some sort of like quasi-quantum physics, existentialism sort of thing. It's just kind of like, and it gets really dark. I'm not going to give anything away. But what I love about it is that it's a piece of children's theatre written and it's come from a very simple, childlike imagination or a childlike game. I'm sure we've all imagined, like, oh my god, is that person staring back at me in the mirror actually me, or is it someone else entirely? Has the world of quantum physics completely something which why am I going on about quantum physics? I've been playing far too much Bioshock. We've all had that imagination, and it just keeps it simple, and that's why I think to me this is what makes great children's theatre. You write something from a child's perspective and root it in a child's very sort of simplistic imagination, and you grow that in a very childlike way, which is exactly what Catriona Kerridge and Louise Gooding have done. Really, really enjoyable. A really great cast as well, both Ina and Anna, and also Glyn Williams as the parrot. Sorry, Ina as Louise Kay, Annie as Claudia Campbell, and Glyn Williams as the parrot. A really great little cast of a really great little play. This was absolutely my favourite, and I think this is brilliant children's theatre in a nutshell. Mars Rover, moving on, by German Munoz. This is really interesting. I think part of the problem, I think this is aimed a little higher than the general age of the children in the audience. It's quite fun. I really like the idea. They kind of personified the Mars Rover on its mission. They kind of give this like kooky American, hey, happy-go-lucky character against a very sort of staunch, very serious scientist controlling it. I love that juxtaposition. I like it because it kind of makes science playful. I suppose you could say it probably would appeal to girls because it's like, hey, pink hair, everything's fabulous and fantastic, and oh my god, stunning. And I'm see, this is terrible now. I'm like, I'm lacing it up in gender binaries. That's not me. But it's kind of accessible and it's kind of fun. I suppose if you want to look deeply into it, it's we're looking at could say, does this show that we've lost the spirit of childlike exploration? We are the people being all sort of like and serious and must stick to protocol, whilst our inner beings is destiny of the rover. We could go into that. I just think it's fun. I think it makes science quite accessible to a younger audience, and I think that's a really great thing to do. I used to, for me, I used to love the cosmos and interstellar science when I was younger, and for me it kind of chimed a bit, and I thought, yeah, this is good. I just think it's just difficult to gauge the audience's reaction because, as I said, I think it's aimed a little higher. I would say this is probably something that would have, someone 10 to 12 rather than 6 to 8, as there were a lot of in the audience. But no, yeah, pretty solid piece. I can't really say much about it. Then there's the interval where it took me ages to get a coffee, but it was a very busy bar. Next after that, The Mime Who Wouldn't Be Silent by Tom Powell. Why do people phone me at the most inopportune of times? We're just going to let that ring. I quite like this piece. Very, very fast-paced, very imaginative. So it's about a mime who won't stay silent. Of course, it's in the title, who runs away from the circus, go figure. It deals with themes of bullying, sort of things like that. I love the incorporation of sign language and stuff as well in the thing. The only thing I didn't like about the particular performance is that it was captioned. I don't have anything about captioned performances per se, except don't put the entire, whole page of a script on the back, because I just sat there and read the whole thing, and by the time I read it all, the scene had only gone down 2 lines. It's a bit distracting. I understand it for people who, and I understand it in the capacity, in the context, of this play, where there's quite a bit of sign language going on within the mimes, actual sign language as well, not just there's a bit of that as well. But what I thought was sign language, I could be wrong. I probably need to brush up on my sign language. This does mean sorry, doesn't it? I can't remember if it's palm open or palm closed. Too long since the last did it. Really fast paced. It was only enough time for a cliffhanger ending. I loved it. I wanted to see more. I thought the comedy was really good in that, actually. This is the one with some of the best comedy. It got the balance between stuff for the kids and stuff for the adults just right. And I don't mean to say that there were hidden, innuendos and stuff. It's just a point. Certainly adults laughed where the kids didn't, and other places kids laughed where adults didn't. A really, really good thing. Really liked that. Then we get on to the next play, which I'm just going to say was not just so much my least favourite, but I think this, and this sounds terrible to me, but I am a critic. I must be strong. I must just say, this is not great piece. So the piece I'm going on to next, mine who wouldn't be silent was good. This piece, no. It's called Pablo by Chris Timmermans. Now, this is what I think embodies what children's theatre shouldn't be. Children's theatre, to me, it should be like Mirror Me, where you take a childish theme, you make it, you produce it in a childish way, and if it chimes with adults, it's because of what adults see in it, not because of what what the writer as an adult is trying to put across. I think this is the flip for Pablo, but it's almost like an introduction to art history, a lot to do with philosophy, and it's too adult. And then they're taking this sort of very adult sort of thinking and trying to dress it up childlike. It didn't work. For a lot of the time, the main character stands at the front and kind of goes, "Oh hi, yeah, I'm a girl. My dress has been put on awkwardly, but that's by the by." And I'm just talking a lot. I'm just talking a lot about stuff which really doesn't relate to children. Just talking. It was a very, very static performance. I got bored, the kids definitely got bored, and I feel really sorry for the actors because you could tell the icy reception from the entire audience kind of made them stumble, and it was such an awkward thing to do. It's something that shouldn't, it's a theme that shouldn't be, it's themes that shouldn't be put in a childlike way, because it's not child's theme, it's a very adult sort of frame of mind and dressed up. Child, I've already said that, but that's what I mean. It just didn't work. A really nice try. I was really hoping, I think, like, oh my gosh, we're going to do something about Pablo Picasso in the context of a children's theatre, and by we'd already had mental health, we'd already had existentialism. We already had interstellar science. Why not? But no, just no. It really didn't work. So that's Pablo by Chris Timmermans. I can't really say much more than that. I was disengaged as an adult, so I can't imagine what it was like for the kids, and I just can't say anything nice. Sorry. And finally, we move on to Mission 54321 by Anne Stoffels. Now, this is an interesting one. I kind of really liked it. It's the most wistful of everything we've seen today. There's balloons, there's trying to get into space and stuff, and it's all done in directorially, directed also by Anne Stoffels as well. It's very physical, it's very fast paced. So the actors in it are brilliant as well. My only concern is that, again, it's possibly a bit too adult, and I say that with a bit of tension. It basically deals with bereavement as a child. Basically, the main character's father has died, and there's a whole thing they want to. Their mum has told them that their dad is keeping a star alight, and then the whole thing of the light has gone out, and they want to go and make sure that their dad can put the light back on. It's kind of heartbreaking, actually. I was really choked up a bit. So it's certainly a great piece of writing, and it certainly is. It's put across in a very childlike, very, very playful way. I just don't know. I'm not sure if it's too heavy for kids, and that's just my opinion. Now, I didn't see Superhero Snail Boy, but from what I know, what I've talked with people about Superhero Snail Boy, it's dealing with bereavement as a child. I probably shouldn't make aspersions like that when I don't know much. But yeah, I'm not saying that you can't deal with bereavement as a child. So, I mean, the verdict's, and the verdict, I think, for me, is still out on that. I'm not sure about it. But even so, I really liked its presentation. I loved the characters. Stoffels' characters are really good in just how they're put across. And I said the direction was great, very energetic, very physical. So that's it. I'm just not sure about it. But that's probably just because of me. That's because as an adult, bereavement is something very, very complex to deal with. So for me, it just doesn't sit well. But I mean, from what I could gauge from the kids in the audience, they were pretty quiet. And if you've got quiet kids in the audience, it generally means that you're doing quite well. You've got them. You've got their attention. They're not fidgeting. They're not chatting. They're not going, I'm bored, or anything, or rustling the sweets. So that one I'd really like to see more of, actually. Again, because of the way the evening is set out, that there's just excerpts from things that you know, you don't see the entire thing. I want to see more of it. I want to see how it goes. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. As I said, it did choke me up. But I'm just not sure. And that's just my opinion. So that's actually quite fresh, really good. 15 minutes, I've bumbled on. Probably made a fool of myself, not just with the monkey. So I'm going to leave you to it. I will write this up again, so hopefully I'll actually have something a bit more coherent not so much on paper, on screen. Once I get it up. So thank you very much, Moon Mission Theatre and Vertical Line. Also, yeah, I must say, Master of Ceremonies, Paul Duncan, wonderful. I very much like the fact that it's a piece of children's theatre, so they present it like a piece of children's theatre. Paul Duncan as the MC, very energetic, very silly, good fun. It kind of like gelled it nicely all together. I'm going to go now. I'm going to have my dinner. I'm going to return, I think it might have been my mother on the phone, so return the call. And I'm off later on to see something I've gone from something very, very childlike, which is this, and I'm going to see Saucy Jack and the Space Vixens. It's just like the polar ends of the age scale today. So I shall see you later with that. And maybe Monkey should come up and say goodbye again. Oh, he's tangled in something. Here we go. Do you want to say goodbye, Monkey? I'm not going to do his voice because I'm terrible. I'm just going to go. Okay. Ta-ra.